We got some massive Cowboys injury updates, and this is huge. However you put it, there's some good, there's some bad, so let's break it down on this episode of Cowboys Digest. Welcome in, everybody, to Cowboys Digest. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, and today we're going to be breaking down the massive injury updates that have come out of Dallas concerning some of their most important star players heading into next season, and the outlook for the rest of this season as well, albeit in a lost season where they probably won't be making the playoffs. But before we get into the video, I want to let you know that a large percentage of you who are watching these are not subscribed to the channel, so go ahead and hit that sub button. It'd mean the world to me. And let's not waste any time. Let's get into the bad news right away, because I want to finish on a little bit of a positive note. And the bad news is this: the Cowboys, they plan to shut down defensive end Demarcus Lawrence for the rest of the 2024 season, and he is slated to be a free agent after this year. So I don't know if the Cowboys are going to be looking to bring him back. I don't know if that's something that's been in the works here. But Demarcus Lawrence has been a valiant soldier for the Cowboys for a very long time. And when it seemed bleak, when it seemed as though he wanted to get released and find another situation, he stuck it out. And he was one of the leaders in that clubhouse. So let's take a look at some of his accomplishments here. And hopefully Demarcus Lawrence can come back to Dallas. It hasn't been something that's been ruled out by Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, but we all know how they get when it comes to paying some players that maybe they don't view as highly as they view themselves. And he's a one-time All-Pro, four-time Pro Bowler, 61.5 career sacks, which is 10th in team history, 97 tackles for loss, second in team history, a dominant run defender, a leader of men, and a team captain. And we all remember that little scuffle that he got into on the sideline with Micah Parsons. I'm sure all that is forgotten, and Micah wants to have one of their leaders back for next season. And there's some good news concerning Micah, which I will touch on for a video that you'll see tomorrow. But I want to focus on the injury updates heading into this week's Sunday Night Football matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which should be a good one, should be an intriguing matchup as well. Like, you got the Cowboys, who are 6-8, still technically alive for the playoffs, and then you have the Tampa Bay Bucs, who are looking to win that division and really pull away from the Atlanta Falcons, who have been struggling as of late. Now let's get into some good news. And this is the good news. Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy provided an update on DeMarvion Overshown surgery, and my understanding is everything went well. We're looking forward to him getting back on the rehab trail. If anybody could do a great job, he will. I thought he did a fantastic job getting ready for this year. So it's unfortunate that back-to-back seasons have been injury-riddled for DeMarvion Overshown, who has shown, and no pun intended, so much potential ever since being drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. He was a standout with the Longhorns in Texas, and he's been a standout ever since stepping onto an NFL field with the Dallas Cowboys. It was truly a treat to watch him go to work every single week. His speed from sideline to sideline really made it worth it to tune into Dallas Cowboys games, like especially this season where it was a bit of a mixed bag. You weren't sure what you were going to get out of this group. DeMarvion Overshown really provided that sense of excitement, and especially when Micah Parsons got back into the fold, those two guys getting comfortable with one another, which makes it even more devastating. Micah was devastated. He was on the verge of tears. He did shed some tears when he was talking about Overshown and the impact that he has on the field. He just wants to see him succeed, and those two guys were just wreaking havoc on the defenses that they were playing. Granted, competition level wasn't great by any stretch, but still, when you have dominant athletes like that on your defensive line and rushing the quarterback, it's just an absolute nightmare for opposing offenses. So hopefully DeMarvion Overshown can shatter that expected timeline that we had set for him previously. And this is from Jordan Schultz, and standout linebacker DeMarvion Overshown underwent successful knee surgery with Dr. Trash. Hopefully I'm saying that a trash, I don't know. And there's hope he could return by mid to late next season. So that could serve as a huge boost to the Dallas Cowboys if they are in the mix next season by around the midseason point. A far more optimistic timeline than initially expected after the diagnosis. And we were expecting him to miss all of next season. At least that's what we were hearing initially on Overshown's case. So this is great news. I mean, he's still going to miss a significant amount of time the rest of this year and probably at least 10 games next season or something of that nature. So it sucks that we won't get to see him for a full season, and we may never get to see it. Like, will he be able to go through the grind of a 17-game season? It remains to be seen because he's never been able to do it before. So I'm sure he's going to work at it. He's going to try to be in the best shape possible. Maybe he loses a step or two, which will make him less dominant on that side of the football, but he's a great player. And he's one of the best tacklers on the Cowboys. He's one of the most relentless defensive players that I have ever seen suit up for Dallas. And his speed, his athleticism, his will to win, his will to make those bone-crushing hits on his opponents, I mean, it's just really fun to watch. So, again, very sad that DeMarvion Overshown season had to end the way that it did, especially when he started playing the best football of his life. He was really coming into his own and proving that he was going to be a Pro Bowl level talent, if not an all-pro level talent. That's how good I think he can be, but you're not getting any better and you're not progressing if you're not on the football field and playing. And that's as simple as that. Like, you need to be out there. You need to be getting your reps in if you want to develop as a player and if you want to integrate yourself into a pretty tough defensive scheme that Mike Zimmer is running. So the bad news here, Demarcus Lawrence out for the rest of the season, and that could be it for his Cowboy career. Again, I kind of had a farewell video for Zach Martin, and if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and do so. But I had one for Zach Martin, and now I'm not going to say this is a farewell to Demarcus Lawrence, but it's definitely looking like it could head in that direction. So if this was it for him, I mean, you have his accomplishments on screen right there. An all-pro, Pro Bowler, 10th in team history in sacks, 2nd in team history in tackles for loss. I mean, tenure is definitely an issue here. Tenure is definitely a reason why you see those numbers being as high as they are, but he's a loyal soldier, man. Loyal soldier, and one of the better Cowboys that I've seen in my lifetime now. Take that with a grain of salt because I am 24 years old, so I was not there for the glory days when you had Roger Staubach winning titles and Troy Aikman winning titles. It's a far cry. These Dallas Cowboy teams are a far cry from those ones that you guys in the comments section most likely witnessed, but hopefully we can get back to that, and I'm sure in order for them to get back to those winning ways, DeMarvion Overshown is going to have to be a crucial part of this team going forward because these athletic linebackers, they're not a dime a dozen. That is for sure. Overshown is a special player. He is a talent that you don't really see around the National Football League. So let me know in the comments down below. Do you want to see Demarcus Lawrence back with the Dallas Cowboys next year? And are we encouraged about the timeline, the more optimistic timeline, I should say, of DeMarvion Overshown? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you all tomorrow.